Whether you're new to machine knitting or looking for a fresh project idea, this tutorial has you covered. These placemats make the perfect addition to your dining table or even a thoughtful handmade gift. So grab your 22 needle circular knitting machine, your favorite yarn, and let's get started. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more knitting tutorials like this one.
Here's how to cast on with waste yarn on a 22 needle circular knitting machine. Thread the yarn into the machine's tension guide and yarn feeder. Anchor your yarn by tying a loose knot to the first black needle. Turn the handle slowly to loop the yarn around each needle, making sure the yarn alternates between the front and back hooks until it reaches the starting point again. I use white cotton yarn because it forms a clear thread with the main yarn at the start of the needle, and the needles can be easily picked up one by one later as well. It is convenient for seamless binding. Casting on with waste yarn is a great way to create a clean and secure edge for your project, making it easier to finish later. Starting with waste yarn can make the binding smoother, reduce the thickness of the joint, and improve the beauty of the finished product. The knitting part of the main yarn will not be affected when it is disassembled later. Transition to project yarn and start to knit in main color. After starting with 5 to 10 rows of waste yarn, set the row counter to 0, switch to the main yarn, and start knitting the finished product with the main yarn. I use my left hand as adding weight to the machine for tension control to prevent loose or uneven knitting. Especially when knitting with finer or 100% cotton yarns, I use 100% cotton yarn for this project. Advantage of tension control is, in some cases, especially for lightweight yarns or 100% cotton yarns, it can reduce the chance of missed stitches or dropped stitches. Different circular knitting machines will have different ways to connect and adjust the weight. I personally highly recommend using your own hand as it is more flexible and can adjust the tension accordingly. Cast off with waste yarn. Be careful not to tie it with the main yarn. It will be more convenient to remove the waste yarns after project completed. Knit 5 to 10 rounds with the waste yarn. These extra rounds will serve as a buffer, making it easier to handle the stitches when removing them from the machine. Cut the waste yarn, leaving a tail long enough to secure the edge during removal about 6 to 8 inches. Turn the crank slowly to release the stitches from the needles. The waste yarn section will hold the live stitches safely together. Gently pull the fabric off the machine, making sure no stitches are dropped. Single crochet method to bind the end of the tube. Pull a loop of project yarn through the first stitch, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook to make the first single crochet. Insert the hook under the next stitch, yarn over, and complete another single crochet. Continue around the edge. Finish the edge. Once you've crocheted the entire edge, cut the yarn, leaving a small tail. Pull the tail through the last loop to secure. Weave in the tail with a darning needle for a tidy finish. Repeat on the other end. Follow the same steps to crochet the opposite end of the tube. Remove the waste yarn. Carefully unravel the waste yarn from the edge, ensuring the crochet stitches are holding all live stitches securely. Flatten the tube so that the edges you want to seam are aligned. Pass tapestry needle from under the first bar. Insert the tapestry needle from top, under to bars and out the top. Insert the tapestry needle on the other piece from the top, under to bars and back out the top. Insert the tapestry needle from the top into the same hole that seaming yarn came out of. Go under to bars and back out the top. Continue to insert the tapestry needle into the same hole on the opposite piece that you came out of. Going under to bars and back out the top. Tighten the seam. Every few stitches, gently pull the yarn to tighten the seam. This will draw the edges together invisibly, like a natural continuation of the fabric. That's why it's called invisible stitching. Finish the seam. Once you've reached the end of the seam, secure the yarn by weaving it into the fabric on the wrong side. Trim any excess yarn. Repeat to join all knitted tubes. Single crochet the edges. Insert the hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop to loops on the hook. Yarn over again and pull through both loops on the hook. Repeat around the edge. Weave in loose ends. Use a darning needle to weave in the yarn tail securely.
The placemat is completed. Follow the same steps as the placemat for the table runner. The pattern is at the beginning of the video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more knitting tutorials.